Good morning, students. Am I audible? Kindly let me know. I was having some issues with the mic. Oh,
Yes, sir.
okay, thank you so much. So let's start today's lecture. I hope you have practiced your previous lectures problems. Okay, so let me share my screen and start today's lecture. Okay, so we are going to do few problems which are left from your topic FSM, and then I will be starting with a new topic. First of all, let me give you a recap of what exactly we have done so far in this chapter. We had seen in our very first lecture that FA is basically of two types. First is with output, okay, and second is without output. So we have seen machines of this type, right one, without output. It basically consists of again three types. First is DFA, and second is NFA, and third is epsilon NFA, if you remember. Okay. Similarly, over here, we are having again two machines. We are going to see what are these machines: Moore machine and Mealy machine. Okay. So far we have done only this much, DFA. Even NFA is left because NFAs require you to learn something about what we call as regular expressions or RE. Okay, but before going into that, our first chapter is all about FA. Okay, FA or FSM, and second chapter is all about RE. But this topic NFA requires you to have a strong foundation of RE, regular expressions, and this also because NFAs and epsilon NFAs require you to know what exactly is a regular expression because ultimately regular expressions can be converted into NFA. So what we are going to do is we have almost covered DFA. Two, three problems are left. I will complete those problems today. So after doing those problems, I will be completing this much, this part, Moore machines and Mealy machines. Then I will jump to chapter number two, just for you to understand what exactly is RE. If you get the understanding of what exactly are regular expressions, then it will be really easy for you to understand what is NFA and epsilon NFA. Correct? Is it fine? So basically, I will be jumping between chapter 1 and chapter 2. So basically, we are combining both the chapters and then preparing our topics. Okay, the syllabus is designed in such a fashion only. I can't help it. Uh, in the first chapter only, they have given all these five machines. But for understanding this epsilon NFA and NFA, you need the understanding of RE also. So for that reason only, I will be jumping between first chapter and second chapter for making the things much clear. Okay, understood? So let's start with today's topic. Today's question number one. Question number one is design a finite state machine. Kindly write it down along with me. Design a finite state machine to accept inputs where the length of the string is where the length of the string is it's divided into two parts. First is divisible by 2 and divisible by 3. This is the first part. Okay. First, let's do this part and then we'll see what is the next part. Uh, is it visible? Can you please let me know? You have to complete this question. We have done a similar kind of question in the previous lecture also, where we had seen mod based problems where we had divided the length of the string and checked whether its mod is 0, 1, or 2. If you remember. No audio. Can you let me know if I'm audible? I guess others are getting the audio. Yeah. Harmish, kindly check from your end. I guess others are able to hear me. Okay. Okay. So kindly let's start with this problem. Design a finite state machine to accept inputs where the length of the string is divisible by 2 and divisible by 3. So we have to consider both the conditions. It should be divisible by 2 as well as divisible by 3. So how you should proceed this particular problem? Kindly let me know how to proceed with this problem. Okay, correct. Ayush has given an answer. Okay, divisible by 2 and divisible by 3. He has written divisible by 6. Okay, okay. Anything else? It's correct, Ayush. But how to write it? We can't directly say it's divisible by 6. We have to give some logic. So how to proceed with it? Your logic is correct, but we have to write something, right? Excluding prime numbers. Okay. So basically divisible by 2 and divisible by 3 are those numbers as pointed out by Ayush. It should be divisible by both, right? So he has correctly pointed out divisible by 6. Why? Because the condition over here is we are having an and in between. So first of all, we need to check which are the numbers which are divisible by 2. It's really simple. We have to start from 0 as 0 only. 0, 2, 4, 6, 8 and so on. All the even numbers, right? Similarly, the numbers which are divisible by 3 would be 0, 3, 6, 9, etc. So what we need to do is we need to find out those numbers which are common in both the lists. Which are common? 0 is common. Okay. What else? What will be the next value which is common? Correct. 6, 12, 18. So basically, we are creating a table of 6. So as pointed out very well by Ayush, first of all, this will be basically a problem where we are dividing by 6. So this entire problem over here gets converted into a problem that is either it is divisible by 2 and divisible by 3, which simply means it is divisible by 6, right? So it will be simply a table of 6. So how to draw the diagram for this? The diagram is again very simple. If we are considering only those values which are divisible by 0, 2 as well as by 3, the diagram would be something like this. We have to start with this. Okay, let me reduce the width. Okay, so very first thing is we will be having a state q0, then state q1, then a state q2, q3, q4. What else? We'll be having one more state q5, and then what we should do? Let me know. We are just bothered about the length. We are not bothered about the inputs. So what I can do is I can simply put 0 comma 1 over here, 0 comma 1, 0 comma 1, 0 comma 1 and 0 comma 1. So now the length has become 5, right? So what should we do next? Can we add one more state over here? No, there won't be any dead state. There won't be any dead state. Why? We have not even drawn the final states. So first of all, tell me, is any more state possible, or what could be the transition? First of all, tell me these two things. Is any more state possible? No. No more states are possible because right now the length of the string has become 5. What do we expect? We expect the length to be either 0, 6, 12, 18. So basically it could be multiple of 6. Correct. Not to Q1. Kindly check once again. It could be a transition. It should be a transition from Q5 to Q0, not to Q1. Why? Because the length has to be multiples of 6. Right now the length is 5 because it's 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. So we want the length to be 6, right? So the transition could be like this from Q5 to Q0 with again 1 comma 0. So now the length becomes 6. So what exactly happens is now the length is 6. Suppose we want the number 12 to be accepted. So yeah, so the length would be like this. It would be again 7, then 8, then 9, then 10, 11, and again 12. So all the multiples of 6 will be accepted over here. So again, Q0 would be the initial as well as final state. Because Q0 is a state which will give me a remainder 0, or I can say it is completely divisible. So I'm writing it like this, draw it fairly. So Q0 will be my state which is initial as well as my final state. Correct? Got the logic? Kindly let me know if this is clear.
Yes, sir.
Okay, thank you so much. So basically, what we need to do is we need to check the length of the string. Input may be either 1 or 0, it can be even A or B, whatever. But we are doing it with respect to decimal numbers. So it could be 1, 0, or whatever be the input, right? If it is decimal, it could be 0, 1, 2, 3, whatever may be the input. If it is binary, it could be 0 and 1. Okay, so we are simply bothered about the length of the particular string. So this is how this type of problem can be done. Similarly, if I give you a question, instead of this and, if I replace that with or, what would happen then? What changes you feel should be there? Basically, it is divisible by 2 or 3. So this is your question. So how will you convert your existing question into something like this? Kindly check once and then let me know, will there be any change in the diagram? Will there be anything changing in this particular example? Any change of final states, etc. First, all again the numbers which are divisible by 2, they are 0, 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, dot, dot, dot. Similarly, the numbers divisible by 3 are 0, 3, 6, 9, 12, 15, dot, dot, dot. So now it is divisible by 2 or 3. So all those numbers which are divisible by 2 or 3 have to be added over here. So what are those numbers? We have to combine them, correct? There's an or symbol in between. So there is no strict condition that it has to be common in both of them. The combining process will be like this: 0, 2, 3, 4, 5 is not there, 6 is there, 8, 9, 10, 12, 15, 15, etc. So these are the 14 bhi aayega, sorry, 14 and 15. These are the numbers which are divisible by 2 or 3, correct? So have a look. Let me know if I have made any mistakes. Okay. So depending upon this, you have to construct your diagram. So how to construct the diagram? So how come prime numbers? 4 is not a prime number, right? Even 6 is not prime. So how to create a diagram for this? It's basically we are combining both the lists. Simple is it, right? So the diagram could be drawn in the same fashion. Start again with the states. States will remain same. It will be Q0, Q1, Q2, Q3, Q4, Q5. Okay. The transitions again would be like this. The same thing will happen over here also. Inputs 0, 1, inputs 0, 1. I'm considering it to be binary. Okay. What else? Uh, Vinay, do we need any pattern over here? It's very simple. The diagram is exactly same, but we need to make some changes to the final states. That's it. Now, can you tell me what are the final states? In the initially, you people had told me there could be two final states. Harsh and Dheeraj have commented that there can be two final states, but I say there are more final states, more than two. How? Now, simply see the length of 0 could be accepted, so Q0 could be one of the final states, right? Similarly, length of 2 could be accepted, so Q2 could be my final state, right? Next, length 3 could be accepted, so Q3 could be my final state. 4 is accepted, 4 is my final state. 5 is not there, so 5 could not be accepted. Again, 6 is there, so 6 is nothing but Q0 state. So you can simply see from the diagram, whichever number is going to be accepted over here, the length corresponding to that will be the final state. So Q0 is my final state, Q2 is my final state, Q3 and Q4. Shreya, kindly check once again. We are having four final states instead of two. Q0 is also accepted because it is present in both 0 as well as 3, right? So Q0 could be accepted, Q2 could be accepted because it's of length 2, Q3 obviously it's of length 3. Q4 can be accepted because it is present in 2's list, and in the same way you can accept all these strings. So basically all the factors of 2 and 3 and the corresponding states to them are the final states. Am I clear?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay. Thank you so much. So these were the two problems left. Uh, I'm going to cover two more problems before even starting with Moore machines and Mealy machines, so the things will be clear. And let me tell you, I'm going to give you some assignments either today evening or maximum by tomorrow morning. Basically, I would like you all to try a software which is called as JFlap. JFlap is a software using which you can simulate your solutions, simulate your problems. Okay, I have a video for that. I will drop in the video link. JFlap is a software which is basically used to automate your logic. So, for example, this is your logic, right? You have created a diagram like this. You simply need to simulate this diagram on JFlap software, and it will tell you whether your logic is correct or not. I'm not having the software right now at this moment. I have deleted it, so I will install it and do a quick demo and give you a video. So I will drop in the video link. Go through that. It will be your assignment. I will give you a few questions which you need to solve on that JFlap software. Okay. It might be some questions which we have already done, or it might be some few practice questions, unseen problems which we have not yet done. Okay. So it will basically help you create your logic and test it on a computer. Okay. So in real life, this is what happens. You create your logic, and then that logic is tested against certain rules on a computer, and then we come to know whether our logic is correct or not. It will definitely help you design your logic. Pehले कुछ questions where we were having confusion. I'm getting in 4 states, you're getting in 5 states. So this particular concept will make everything clear. You can simply drop in your logic over there and check whether it's giving you correct answers or not. Okay. So by day end or by tomorrow maximum, I will be giving you 3 to 4 questions based on this JFlap software. Okay. So let's see two more problems for this particular concept, finite state machines, and then we can jump with Moore and Mealy machines. Okay. Next problem. Okay, I'm drawing a diagram, and based upon that, I will ask some questions. Sorry, it's the final state. Okay. Okay, so this is your question. This is your diagram basically. The question is something like this. Consider this following DFA and find out how many strings it accepts. This is the question. Okay. This is a diagram given to you. Q0 to Q5 are final states. Intentionally, Q6 is not kept as a final state. This is your diagram. Go through it and tell me how many strings are possible. Okay. How many strings it will accept. Try karo pehle. Let's try and then I will give you options later on. First, try to get the answer. How many strings? There are two inputs, 0 and 1. Okay. Okay, Ayush has given an answer 6 into n minus 1, which simply means 6 into how many states? N is state, right? Or what you want, basically mean by n? N is number of states.
Yes, sir.
Okay, so There are 7 states. 6 sevens are 42 minus 1. You mean 41? No, that is incorrect. Try karo aur. Keep on trying. Take maximum 2 to 3 minutes. It's not that hard. It's not that difficult. There are two inputs, 0 and 1. So how many strings it should accept? ध्यान से देखना. Check the diagram carefully. There are 5 final states, and each state is going to accept some kind of input. In fact, Q0 is also accepting something. Q1, Q2, Q3, Q4, and Q5 are also accepting something. The question is, find out how many strings it accepts. Only 6? No. It could be even 0, it could be even 1, right? So it will accept all these strings starting from string length 0 to 5, not 1 to 5. Jay, make a small correction over there. It's strings with length 0 to 5. Why 0? Because even Q0 is an accepting state. No, so far I have not received any correct answer. Jay is very close. He has given the logic. It will accept all the strings with length 0 to 5 instead of 1 to 5. So now I have given you the hint. All the strings of length 0, all the strings of length 1, and so on. Keep on adding them and you will get your answer. So basically, you have to see all the strings of length 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. And that will be your final answer. No, me incorrect. Keep on trying. No, no answer, no correct answer yet. This is a logical question. It is basically asked in GATE, but it has its roots in this particular subject. Q6 will not accept anything because Q6 is not a final state. No, 37, 38 again incorrect answer. 75 is way too much. It's again incorrect. Keep on trying. At least you have got the logic now. No, Raj. No, not yet. 36. No. Okay, so shall I give you a hint how to start it? Okay. Let's wait for 2 more minutes. Mihir is saying. Keep on trying. If you're able to do this, the next question will be very simple for you all to understand. Multiple of 7? No. The question is very simple. Diagram is given to you. It has not even asked you uh, the whether it is divisible by something or not. The question is very simple. Diagram is given. You have to tell me how many strings it will accept. That's it. No divisibility, no nothing condition. No condition is given. Just carefully look at the diagram. Which are the accepting states? Q0, Q1, Q2, Q3, Q4, and Q5. So these 6 states will be accepting. Q6 is not going to accept anything. So whatever input it receives, it is null and void. So we have to consider till Q5. That is length 5. So starting from length 0 till length 5, the strings will be accepted. No, Tanvi, incorrect. 30 is not right answer. See, I'm giving you a hint. Uh, add up all the strings for each state. For example, Q0 state, how many strings will be accepted in Q0? If it is clear, then we can move ahead. Okay. Think of a formula. It's really very simple. Think of a formula. No. Let me give you a hint and then you tell me the answer. Okay. We have to consider each and every state So we start with, let me change the color, string of length 0. Now, how to do this? We have to consider the strings of length 0 through length 5. Okay, so I will make it like this: string of length 1, string of length 2, 3, 4, and 5. Why not 6? Because Q6 is not an accepting state. So the length could be either 0 or 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Okay, so start like this. How many inputs are there? 0 and 1, right? There are only two inputs, right? So we can think of a formula like this: 2 raised to n, where n is nothing but the length. It is 2 raised to 0. What is 2 raised to 0? Anything raised to 0 is 1. Simple. So the string of length 0 could be only 1. In the same fashion, string of length 1 kitna ho sakta hai? It is 2 raised to 1. Why base is 2? Because we are having only two inputs, either 0 or 1. So how many strings of length 1 is possible? See over here in the diagram. It can be either 0 or it can be either 1. So there are only two possibilities of strings of length 1. That is 2. Now, can you please tell me how this 1 came over here? Formula to maine bata diya. It's based on the formula. But how this 1? Because there are two inputs, right? 0 and 1. So if the length of the string is 0, then how the output has come out as 1? Can anyone tell me? Are we missing something? Yes, only epsilon. Correct, Yash. Because if there are no inputs, then we can consider this as epsilon. Yes or no? I've told you multiple times again also. If there are no inputs, it simply means epsilon is present over there, right? So the string of length 0 is corresponding to epsilon. Yes, the correct answer is 63. If we add up every value over here, 2 raised to 2, 2 raised to 4, 3, 2 raised to 4, and 2 raised to 5, it is simply pointing out to 63 as the answer, right? Now you got how to solve such problems. They require a little thinking over them. It's basically a gate type question, so you cannot waste a lot of time in solving how the problem will react to various inputs. You simply need to have some particular formula for this, right? Now I hope this is clear how you got 63 and all. You first of all need to check the diagram carefully. What are the initial states? What are the final states? And then you should get an idea quickly how you could proceed ahead, right? So am I clear with this problem? Any doubts? Kindly let me know if you want me to explain once again. Okay, clear. Fine. Let me give you one more problem based on this only. Last problem based on FSM. And after that, I will give you some practice problems for your homework. Your assignment one. Okay. So question number 4 for the day. Again, I'm drawing a DFA. Okay. This is the DFA given to you. Let me write the question. Consider the following DFA and find out how many strings it accepts of length 7. Which question is not complete yet. Which starts from 1, 0. So this is the diagram given, and based on this diagram, there is a question. Find how many strings it accepts of length 7, which starts from 10. Okay. So based upon the previous question only, slight change in the logic. Again, check the diagram, but don't uh, overcomplicate things. It's really simple. Think with a clear mind, you will get the answer quickly. Sometimes we keep on thinking too much and waste a lot of time, although the questions are simple. Okay. Find out how many strings it accepts of length 7, which starts from 10. Try and let me know whether you are done. Okay. We can consider Q3 as dead state. Okay. But there are multiple loops on Q0 and Q1, Q2 also. So keep in mind about that. For example, if the machine has entered into Q2, it can remain in Q2, right? It can remain because it can be a trap state. Q2 is a trap, Q3 is a dead state, right? So now, depending upon this logic, you need to construct, you need to find out how many strings basically it can accept of length 7, which starts from 10. Any idea how I could start with this problem? How I should proceed with the logic? 64. Okay, let me check. What is given in the question? The length of the string is 7, right? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Now you will tell me it's really very simple. How is it possible? Okay, change the color. It's not visible, I guess. Okay. So these are the 7 positions that the strings can take, and it's already given that 1 and 0 is fixed. We can't make any changes to these positions. So how many positions are left now? How many places are left to be filled? 5. So what should be the answer? So what should be the answer? How many inputs are there? Try to compare it with the previous case. Ayush, again you are making a slight mistake. Kindly check what I'm saying. We have 5 positions left. 1 and 0 is already fixed. We can't make any changes to that, right? So we have 5 positions, and we have to fill the 5 positions with various combinations. So what are those combinations available? We have 2 inputs, 1 and 0. So there could be only 2 raised to 5 possibilities, that is 32. Got the answer? It could be either 10, 10, whatever it may be. So the question is really simple. Don't overcomplicate things thinking about applying how we can apply the formula over here. It's very simple. The first 2 positions have been fixed. It's mentioned that in the question only we have to fix the first 2 positions. The remaining positions only we need to manipulate, and that is how we can do with the help of this formula. 5 positions, and there are 2 inputs, so it will be 2 raised to 5. That is 32. So is it clear? Okay. Okay. Thank you so much. So I hope this concept of FSM is clear now. I will be giving few problems for you to practice upon. Okay. So let's start with the concept of Moore machines and Mealy machines. Let's take 2 minutes break. Okay, Mihir, you want me to explain once? Okay. So read the question first. In the question, what is mentioned is find how many strings this particular diagram should accept of length 7. Okay, so we have total 7 positions with us, which starts with 10. It's already given in the question that the string is starting with 10. So we can't make any changes to 1 and 0 because at the end, the string which is going to be accepted should be starting with 10, right? What is the final state? Final state over here is Q2. So over here, you can see this 1 and 0, it has already accepted. And after that, all the possible combinations will make the machine remain in Q2 only. So these are all those possible combinations. Either it could be a 1, either it could be a 0. So let's consider one example. Something like this. It is already 1, 0, 1, 0, 0, 1, 1. It will be accepted. Why? Because 1, 0 has been accepted. Then if it If the input is even 1 or even 0, it is going to remain in Q2 only. So what we are bothered with, we are bothered with manipulating these 5 positions. And that can be done with the help of this formula, 2 raised to 5, because we are having two inputs, either 1 or 0, and we are having 5 positions. So it is nothing but the number of inputs raised to number of positions available. That is 2 raised to 5, which is 32. So that's why I told you, don't overcomplicate or don't overthink on these problems. They are quite logical, quite simple. Just apply a certain logic to it and you will be able to solve it easily. Am I clear, Mihir? Am I clear, Saili? Okay, thank you so much. So let's discuss about the next topic, that is Moore machines and Mealy machines. Over here, I have already shown you the classification. Finite automata consists of two types, basically in broad sense. Finite automata without output, which we have seen in the form of DFA. NFA and epsilon NFA will be done after I start with chapter number 2. We are left with this Moore machines and Mealy machines. So, what exactly is a finite automata with output? Let me tell you that. So far, we have seen machines. Take this example only. We are having this machine where we come to a conclusion whether a string will be accepted or not. So, basically, what we have seen is we have seen a class of finite automata which will either accept or reject, right? We have seen the examples similar to that only. So it will be either an acceptor or a rejector. I don't know about the spelling, but this is what we call. Either the string will be accepted or the string will be rejected. So this was all about DFA or FA or FSM. But now the machines which we are going to learn are going to give me some kind of output. What do we mean by an output? For example, a calculator. Calculator is not bothered about the state in which you are present. It is not bothered about the steps. It simply provides you some kind of output. For example, if I add 1 plus 2, it will tell me the answer as 3. It is not bothered about how you got this 1, how you got this plus, how you got this 2. That is all. Uh, this all functionality will be done with the help of RE. But what we are bothered is we are bothered about the output if we are considering a calculator. So Moore machines and Mealy machines, these are two classes of finite automata which are only bothered with providing you with the output and not with the final state, right? So these machines don't have any final state. You can say that Moore machines and Mealy machines don't have any final state. They simply provide output either for each state or for each transition. I'm writing it something like this. The output is associated with each state. You will see what I'm talking when I will be giving you examples. So in case of Moore machine, the output is associated with each state, and in the case of Mealy machine, the output is associated with each transition. So far it's clear. Let me proceed ahead and explain what exactly is a Moore machine and Mealy machine. Okay, let me write it. We are going to start with Moore machine first. Okay. Okay, so basically write down this definition along with me. A Moore machine is basically a finite automata with no final states. Okay, kindly underline that, with no final states, and produces the output sequence for the given input sequence. Okay, write one more line. In each Moore machine, now it's up to you, want to call it Moore or Moore. It's up to you. People call it with different names. It's a proper noun, in fact. The output symbol is associated with each state. This is the definition of a Moore machine. Kindly go through it once again. It is a finite automata with no final states. let me underline that, with no final states, and produces output sequence for the given input sequence. In Moore machine, the output symbol is associated with each state. This is important. This is where Moore machines differ from Mealy machines. Shall I give you an example to make the things clear? Okay, let me give you an example first. Is the definition clear? Okay, let me give you an example. It will make things much clearer. Let's consider this table. Now we are talking about a finite automata. So I have written Q versus sigma. Okay, it is nothing but states versus inputs. Okay, so now you are already used to such tables. We have already designed such tables in the past also, right? So you will tell me how is it different from a finite state machine or finite automata. We have already seen something. We have already seen such things in the past. First thing you should notice is there is no final state. Final states are always marked with star in the table. Okay. First thing is that we have no final states. But where is the output I was talking about? Where is it? I have not yet added. Let me tell you, we are talking about a Moore machine. So the output of a Moore machine is always associated with that state. So what we need to do is we need to add one more column, and the output is signified with this formula lambda, with this symbol lambda. Lambda is nothing but, I will tell you what exactly is lambda. It is called as output mapping. Okay, output mapping. So this lambda is nothing but lambda of QA will be output of QA. Okay. If I write something like this is the mapping of the output of state QA. So you get something like this. It's already given, so don't wonder how we got this value. For example, we have solved a problem, and in that problem, we got a logic, and based upon that logic, we found out that the output of state QA is A. Similarly, output of state QB is B, and output of state QC is C. So now, can you tell me the difference? We have added one more column, and this column is nothing but we are adding some output to the state. So what we are doing is we are not having any final state in this table, but we are having one more column, which is nothing but a significance of the output of each state. That is what I have written over here. In each Moore machine, the output symbol is associated with each state. Is the table clear? You got the difference between FSM, FA, and this particular table? Kindly let me know. Yes, come on. If it is clear, kindly let me know clear, or otherwise I can explain it once again if you want. Okay. Okay. Few of you are asking me to explain once again. Okay, I will explain it once again. See, if you compare this with your existing FSM table or your FA table, it is quite similar. The only thing is we have removed the final state from here. Yes. So basically, it is provided. Harsh is saying basically it provides output for each state. Correct. So it provides output for each state, and there is no final state. That is the main difference. If you see this table, you can't see any star mark over here for any particular state. So basically, we have removed the final state because Moore machines don't work on the concept of final states. They only work on the concept of output for each state, right? So in this case, output of Q0 state is A, output of QB state is B, and output of QC state is C. Things will be much clearer if I draw a diagram and explain you what exactly I'm talking about. Okay, so let me draw the diagram. It starts like this. Initially, what you used to do is you used to draw an ellipse or a rectangle, whatever you wish, across a state for a state. So basically, what we can do is now in Moore machine, we are having the output associated with each state. What I can do is I can write it like this: QA slash A, where this small a is nothing but the output of this state QA. Similarly, QB is a state, and QB will be having an output. What is that? B, right? Small b. So I will write it something like this. We not change the color for the states, or else you will get confused. Last up, we are having QC state, and QC state is having output as small c. So depending upon the table, you have to construct the states, right? So let's complete this particular diagram. QA on input 0, check the table. QA on input 0 goes to Q0 or QA only. So keep it like this and draw the complete diagram as we have drawn in the previous cases also. It's similar to that. Only thing is you need to add the output within the state. I guess it's clear now. The only thing differs is the output associated with each state. Otherwise, the diagram is exactly same. Okay, this is what we call as a Moore machine. Is it clear now? Kindly let me know. Let me drop in the attendance link also. Otherwise, it would be late. Just 1 second. I'm getting back to your queries. Let me take the attendance first. Okay. So let me see the doubts being asked. In this example, the output of QC will be either QB or QA. Not accepting responses. Okay, let me check 1 second. Kindly mute yourself, whoever is unmuted. Ritik, kindly mute yourself, or I'll have to do it. Okay. Okay, let me check the link. Is accepting or not? Okay. Okay, I've done it. I've started it. You can now fill in the link. Okay. So, what is your doubt? The output of QC will be either QB or QA. Let me check the tag. No, see, output of any state is being highlighted over here. Okay, this is the output. The output of QC will be output of QC is an alphabet. It's not in terms of a state. You're getting it. So output of QC is C and not QB or QA. These are the inputs. If I'm not wrong, you have already seen problems based on this, right? So output of QC is C because it's already mentioned. We'll solve problems based on this, and it will make the things more clear for you. Yeah, I will explain the simulation. I have it ready. So let's start with this example. Those who have filled the attendance, kindly look into this example first. I have taken an example 1101 and we are starting from QA, right? Okay. So next up, it is check the table. QA on input 1. QA on input 1 goes to QB. Okay. I'm simply following what we have done so far in case of FSM. Now, what exactly needs to be done is how we can write the output. See over here. In the case of Moore machines, we are having the outputs associated with each state. So we have started the machine from QA state. All of you need to use your universal.edu.in ID, otherwise it will ask for permission. Simple. Let me check. Many of you have already filled the attendance, right? Yeah, it's already 100 responses. So kindly use your universal ID only. Otherwise, you won't be able to fill up the attendance. So we are already in state QA. What is the output of state QA? It's small a, right? So we have to write the output along with each step. Similarly, now we are in state QB. QB on input 1 goes to QB on input 1 goes to QB only. So it is written like this. We have done this already. So right now what we can do is QB is already having an output B associated with it. So simply append the output of that particular state over here like this. Okay. Now QB on input 0. QB on input 0 is going to QC, and we are left with this input. Okay. Right now, are you able to understand what I'm trying to do? I am simply assigning the output of each state over here at the end. Over here, the state was QA, so I assigned an output A. Over here, the state was QB. What is the output of state QB? It is small b. So I'm simply appending it at the end of the previous output. Is it clear? So according to that logic, what should be the output of this particular step? It will be A, B, B, and next, what should I add? Ayush, you are making mistakes. See, for each row, we are assigning the corresponding output of that particular state over here. We are assigning QC's output. QC is having output as C. So that's why I have appended that output as C. Similarly, we are starting with QA. So what is the output of QA? It is small a. So I'm writing it like this. Correct? Similarly, last step is remaining QC on 1. QC on 1 goes to QA. We are not left with any input. What is the output of QA? It is small a, right? So the final value which we will get is something like this. Is it clear now? Okay. So you will learn later when we will see an actual problem. This was just an example that whatever is the length of the input we are reading, we will always get the output as n plus 1. In this case, the input is 4 and the output length is 5. Right? Clear? Because we are also considering the output of each state. So we are solving this 4 length input, and the output string we are getting is of length 5. So this is how we complete a problem on Moore machine. This was just an introduction. I will give you problems in the next lecture. We'll solve 3 to 4 problems, and it will make the things even clear how to solve such a problem on Moore machine. Okay. I'm not going to complicate things by explaining Mealy machine today. It will make it more confusing. So we are going to solve Moore machines only for the next lecture, and then we will start with Mealy machines. Okay. So that's it. If you're having any doubts, you can ask me. Let me check how many responses I have received. 112 responses, and I guess those are the people. Okay. So kindly let me know if you're having any doubts, or otherwise I can close this session. I will drop in the assignment questions in Google Classroom by day end. And I will also drop in some video links for you to practice upon the tool which I had discussed. If you remember JFlap. Okay. So yeah, I will try to upload all the lectures which are pending. I guess I have uploaded till lecture 6. So 7th and 8th and today's lecture I will be uploading together. Okay, take some time to edit those. So I will take out some time and edit and upload them. Okay. Thank you so much. Let's meet on Monday. Okay, n plus 1. Okay, you want me to explain? See, Dhruv, the length of the inputs are n. Okay, this is a formula, simple formula. If the length of the input is n, then we will be having an output of length n plus 1. You can see over here, we are having an output of length 5 and the input length is 4. That is why the formula n plus 1. Okay. Is it clear, Dhruv? You will see that with practice, it makes things even clear because the input is of length 4, the output is of length 5. That is what is the formula all about. Nothing else. ABB वाला नहीं समझा है क्या उसमें? सी देखो, हर एक स्टेट we have to apply each and every state's output over here. We are in state QA, so we have written output as A. We are in state QB, so what is the output of state QB? It is small b. So we have to add that output at the end of the previous output. That's it. Clear? So each and every state ka output we have to keep on appending at the end. Appending is nothing but adding at the end. So that is how we got the final output as A. Okay.